Good evening. I am Debbie McKeever, founder and owner of Strong and Healthy Temple, a virtual holistic health and wellness coaching practice servicing clients worldwide, where we focus on helping clients to transform their lives by shifting their mindsets. It's fall weather out here today. The acorns are falling, and if you've ever been hit in the head by an acorn, which I have, unfortunately, you know why Chicken Little thought the sky was falling. It is very painful. You may not be able to see the oak tree in the acorn, but you can definitely feel it if it hits you. So hopefully I won't get hit by an acorn while I'm out here recording. But anyway, wanted to talk today. The title of this video is The Money Mind. And I just wanted to talk about the subject of our minds around money. I think money in general just becomes an uncomfortable topic, whether it be like in a job interview. It's usually like that awkward point in the interview where you talk about, what the salary is going to be. Is usually, in my opinion, I think it's probably the first thing that you should get out of, that an employer should get out of the way. Or like in my instance, as a business owner or a coach, when somebody's doing like a free consultation, it's always that, awkward moment where, you talk about pricing. So money tends to be an uncomfortable subject. I think people, in general are, not really comfortable admitting that they they like money, or they need it, or just not talking about it at all, or having the perception of money being, either evil or bad, and, just kind of concealing, the truth about money. I personally love money. I'm not in love with it, but I love it. It's obviously a resource. We need it to live. We all know, if you're operate on a higher dimension, that money is energy. All things are energy, but in this lower dimension, we need money to to function, to operate, to buy things, and to meet particular needs. So it's really nothing to be ashamed of. Not everybody wants to be rich. Some people do, some people don't. No judgment, but there's no shame in having a good and healthy relationship with money, just like there's no shame in having a good and healthy relationship with food, or with people, or with anything else. But I just noticed, I had made an observation. I posted something on LinkedIn, and I posted about, how God is unlimited and there are unlimited resources, in the universe. So if you could, ask for any amount of money, unlimited, if you could write yourself a blank check, what would that amount be? And mine was really big. My check was for $1.5 trillion. And, I gave the reason why. I'm a really big giver, and I've always had like a desire to be like a really big philanthropist. I give, with what I have now, but, just to be able to give, unlimited, and in a really big way. So that's like a dream of mine. And also, do things, for myself, things that I desire, and things for my loved ones, and things like that. So I started the topic off, and, I noticed that there weren't as many comments on that post as there were for like 3 previous topics that I had posted that had nothing to do with money. Although I also had observed that particular post had a greater reach. Like it had triple the amount of views, so it had a greater reach than the other 3 posts, but it only had half the engagement. And I noticed that people were either reluctant to answer, or kind of giving like vague answers. And my neighbor's dog just joined me on the video. He's always, I think I mentioned before, he's always out there barking. But anyway, I think that people were just kind of avoiding, the post, even though they were viewing it. Because again, I think people become uncomfortable around money because they think it's, they've either been taught that it's something evil or something bad. My point of view on money is that it's an amplifier. So it amplifies who you currently are, and it also amplifies your habits. It's neither good nor bad. It's definitely not evil. And again, it's something that we need, to function. There's this saying that, money isn't everything, but it ranks up there with oxygen. We need it to live. And I completely agree with that. And like I said, it's an amplifier. If you're a person who is already good and you have good habits, it's going to amplify those good habits. If you're already a giver, then you'll be able to give to a greater degree. If you have a bad habit like drugs or something like that, then it's going to amplify that bad habit. It doesn't make money itself bad or evil. It just means that you already have that habit, and now you have more money to squander on something that's not good for you. Just like if you have good habits and you like to help people, say like you're helping the hungry and the homeless and things like that, so now you have more money to do that with. It actually amplifies your good habits. So money to me is actually neutral. It's not good or bad. It doesn't make you a good or bad person. It just amplifies who you already are. And so there's no reason to be ashamed of loving money. Like, you don't have to be in love with it to the point that you're completely consumed with it. And I think that scripture that's in the Bible that people like to quote, it gets quoted out of context. It doesn't say that money is evil. It says the love of money, but I think it's talking about being in love with it to the point that you are completely consumed with it, and you're being greedy, and you're being dirty and malicious and vicious about money, and going about obtaining money in the wrong way. So it's not just saying, there's nothing wrong with having money or with being rich or any of those things. So I think we just goes back to my favorite topic, of course, mindset. We just have to change our mindsets around the topic of money so we can be more comfortable. It was just funny that I made that observation where people were like nervous about admitting that they would write a really big check. And there was one lady who was honest. She was saying that at first she was just going to name like a small amount just for herself, and her family, but then she realized if she asked for a larger amount, then she could actually, do things for others. And so she made her check out for 1 billion. And I think that's another thing too, where people just kind of get in this mode of thinking that they sound humble when they say things like, well, I just want a little, or I just want enough for myself or for me and my family. Well, really, that's actually selfish, because if you have just enough for yourself, or just enough for yourself and your family, how can you help others? And we have to learn to be givers as well as a receiver. I've always been a very big giver, but I actually had to learn how to receive. And I used to think that not receiving was being humble, but that's not being humble either. That's also, in a weird way, that's being selfish, and that blocks blessings from people who are actually trying to get resources to you. You think you sound humble when you won't accept something, but not only can you hurt the person's feelings or offend them or whatever, but you're actually blocking the flow of the blessings, that can come in for that person. And even if you don't need, what they're giving you in terms of money or whatever it is, maybe you can share it with somebody else. So even if you don't need it, just, take it and utilize it for somebody who does. So anyway, just wanted to come on really briefly and, talk about the subject of the money mind. Change your mind around money. Begin to see money for what it really is. And, it's a resource. It's neutral. It's not good or bad. It's not evil. It's just, we can use it, to help people. So I think when you look at it in a positive light, you'll change your mind about it. So anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would love for you to subscribe to the videos. Hit the bell icon to receive notifications when I release more videos. Thank you. So, almost forgot to say, share the videos also with your network. I would greatly appreciate that as well. Thank you so much for watching, and make it a lovely day.